All right, everybody, welcome back to a Crucible of War market update. I haven't been this excited to do a market update in quite a while. It is a spicy, spicy meatball this week, and I was a little tired of my other video today, but I've got a Diet Coke, and so I'm good to go. It's a amazing market right now in Crucible. I can't wait to talk about it. Of course, I have to shill for a couple people. I have to shill for myself. Let me first off shill for Mitch at Midtown Merchant. Mitch has a bunch of more first edition cards, a ton of Crucible War cards, which I'm guessing are underpriced, honestly. And you can also use my discount code JustLove10 to save 10%. And Midtown Merchant is an amazing place to order your cards. So make sure you head over to Midtown Merchant. He did a big purchase of a bunch of cards for all first edition cards. So make sure you head over there. There was also some unlimited. Sorry, I don't know why I said all first edition cards. A lot of first edition cards. And then also, I want to give a little, if you can't find the cards you're looking for there, head to TCG Player and make sure you use my code in the link in the bio. It does really help the channel. I get 3% of your order on that. Unfortunately, you don't save any money, but it doesn't cost you anything to do that, and it really does support the channel. If you want to support the channel in a bigger way, if you really believe in what I'm doing on this channel, the best way for you to do that is to join my Patreon. Of course, I'm trying to make it as valuable as possible, so patrons also get an additional 10% off code at Midtown Merchant, and that's monthly. And then also they get access to my collection tracker, which I think is worth the value in itself. And this is a collection tracker. It's for all the sets. Right now I'm just showing you the Crucible one, but there's also a full collection tracker that kind of tracks the entire collection. I like the ones that are specific to the sets though, because it's a little bit easier to see. That being said, you also get access to my Discord server. Tonight we're running an Armory event with Armory promos in my Discord server, so I'm super excited about that. And it's a great place to be. It's a great community. It's just $5 a month, gets you access to all that. And then at a higher tier, at $15, I do have a podcast. It's called If I Were Investing, where I share some of the details of if I had a lot of money, what I would spend it on right now. So, all right, let's get into Crucible of War because I'm stoked about it. It's going to be a good one. I hope you put on your big boy pants or big girl pants because it's a good one. All right, let's talk about sealed boxes. We are kind of at a standstill right now. Now, if you go to eBay and look, there are some that are sold at the 830 mark, but there's also auctions that are ending lower than that. So I just wanted to keep it at the same rate. There were definitely boxes sold this week at $750, and there's not enough that are being sold at the $800 mark to say that that's a new price. So I'm keeping it at $750. And, you know, I think the Channel Fireball sale was huge when they ran out of boxes at $750. But in my opinion, it was also very quick. So it's kind of, the question was how many boxes do they actually have? How many people purchased the boxes? Or was it maybe just one person that purchased a ton of boxes? So keep all that in mind. I do think that the market is accepting the $750 price, but at that price, you might see some more people coming in to sell their boxes, which would kind of help it balance out. Anyway, this week, I don't think we really shot past that as like the standard for the price. So I'm keeping it at $750 for now. So let's go ahead and you can see that like we had a huge growth, we had a leveling, and now we're at a huge growth. So it's crazy. The market is insane. This Flesh and Blood is an amazing just case study on like what happens when there's not enough product to meet the demand of the players. Okay, let's get to the Fable. The Arknight Shard up 4% again this week. Just one sale on eBay. I saw a couple of them floating around around this price on Facebook, but honestly, a ton of these cold foils, a ton of them are sitting at BGS right now waiting to get graded. So I think the number of sales is actually going to be pretty low over the next couple weeks. So just keep that in mind, that the market right now just doesn't have a ton of cards moving or grooving because of a lot of cards being at BGS. And that's a whole way around the whole market, not just Crucible of War. But you can see we are very flat. We have been flat for now into months, like 2 or 3 months now, that the prices on the Arknight Shard have been flat. So we've accepted this, around $4,000, $3,800 as the market price, and it hasn't really fluctuated at all from there. So let's go to the Legendaries. And, keep in mind, I include the Twinning Blade here as a Legendary just because of the pull rate of it. It kind of falls into that slot. So speaking of the Legendaries, Cheyenne is rocking right now. And again, tons of graded copies seem to be around there, not really offered. But you know what? Like, finding a raw is really, really difficult. Shout out to Nikki, who was on the Facebook group yesterday trying to get one. Finally got one. And I know she paid around this price, but also there was one on eBay that sold for $2,600. So it seems to be the new kind of rising price. It seems very, very, very difficult to source one of these, even at the $2,600. The Facebook group really was trying to find one for all day yesterday, and it was hard to find a seller at that price. So it seems like that's the new kind of standard price for it, which is a great growth for that card, because we were stuck at the $2,200 for quite a while, and there just wasn't many being sold. So the Spring Tunic just up a little bit. Remember, that is the non-foil version, but it is first edition technically. And then the Twinning Blade Extended, I've got it at $625, which is pretty flat from comparatively, but that seems to be, there's one on TCG Player for that price right now, and it just seems like that's the current market price. I think it's having a hard time getting above $650. I don't know if that's because of the announcement of potentially Crucible Unlimited coming out, if people are worried about it because it's not a cold foil, but it seems like that seems to be the price there, about $625. Average price there puts you at $1191.67, which is a 16% increase, mostly almost all due to Cheyenne rising. And you can see that would be a new all-time high for the average price of a Legendary. All right, let's go on to the cold foils. Really tons of sales. I mean, this data is getting really difficult to show you. I actually have a special coming up at the end of this video, a special change. It's a little surprise for those of you who make it all the way through. That's going to help you see this data a little bit better. But all the rares are pretty accurate here. All the rares, a lot of them moving, a lot of them selling, but not really a lot of them moving too terribly. I mean, we're looking at $10 increases or decreases, not really anything special. Zephyr Needle and the Centauri, the Centauri Sabers moving a little bit, but really the average price of all these is sitting pretty good. Talishar is down a little bit, but the rest of them are kind of just up $4 or $5. The real information is going to happen here in your Majestic cold foils, and let's kind of move over so you can understand the data a little bit better. But Skullhorn, we're up $10. Crater Fist, we're up 15. Nothing really to write home, but then all of a sudden Breeze Rider Boots up $100. And Breeze Rider Boots, I want to just talk about Breeze Rider Boots. Look at the price. I mean, it's just up and down and up and down. 300, 350, sorry, 300, 330, 290, 290, 350, 290, 250, 350. I mean, the price of this card, it's like, what is it actually worth? But this week it seems like a couple sold at the 350 mark. Now the Courage of Bladehold is one that I definitely want to show you, because we had 3 confirmed eBay sales for the Courage of Bladehold this week, which is really significant because usually you don't have that many that sold in one specific week. So let's pop that up. The Courage of Bladehold. So the Courage of Bladehold. So we had one sell at 500, then one sell at 400, and then one sell at 600. And it's very, very, very interesting there to see that amount of sales in that card. And then another one sold on TCG Player at the 596 mark too. So a lot of sales of Courage of Bladehold. And I know that Dorinthia has really spiced up has really become a contender in a lot of the skirmish events. And I'm wondering if that's a little bit that's guided that. But I mean, that's a big increase, $150 increase there. So very, very, very interesting in my opinion. The Visitronic Model I is also up about $90. Perch Grapplers up 25. Let's see, Bloodsheath Skeleton is up 50. Metacarpus Node is also up around $50, and the Gambler's Glove also up $50. So your average is really being pushed by the Majestic in this case, and we're up 14% accounting for that. So if you can see, we're close to the all-time high, which was back over on the 16th of January, when right before kind of we had a dip in the market because of the more boxes coming in. So we're kind of getting close to that all-time high. We're about $10 short right now. All right, let's go to the Majestic rainbow foils. Now, there was good movement in the Majestic rainbow foils too. We're at 8%, and you can see this graph. We had a hard dip, and we're kind of on the U shape. We're on the beginning of the upward trend of a U here, and that's an important thing to keep in mind because I think there's a lot of deals to be had here. I don't want to get too much in my opinion. I'll share it more in my podcast later this week, but we have Beast Within. You're up good percentage there on the Beast Within. Massacre, you're also up. Let's see, our Smash is about the same, Mangle's about the same, Righteous Cleansing is about the same. A couple of these are down. The ones that aren't really played as much are down. But, so many more people are actually playing in this last couple of weeks because of the skirmish events that you're really starting to see the specific decks that are being played driving a lot of the prices, which is fantastic for the game. So, Twinning Blade, the yellow rainbow foil, this is not the full art, is sitting at 63, which is up pretty good. Unified Decree, I'm not sure where that one's up. I haven't actually seen that one played very much. Spoils of War, up to 95. Let's see what the all-time high in that one was. Spoils of War, are we getting close? Spoils of War all-time high was 123, so, we're not there yet. Let's see, Magnetic Shockwave, nothing much. The other big one was Plasma Purifier, changed quite a bit from 45 to 70. And the rest of them are kind of pretty average. And the Gorgonian Tome still sitting at 175. There's a couple of them on the market at that price too, which that was a $320 card back on the 16th of January. So all in all, we are up 8%. Your average is sitting around $35. And like I said, you've got a good little curve going on here 2 weeks in a row that we've been moving up. The regular Majestics, the exact same thing. I love that it's following the same trend because that tells me that it's more about the players than it is the investors and the collectors, which is really, really healthy for the game. So all in all, the biggest thing to note here is that these equipments are starting to really push it up again. Back to $42 for the Breeze Rider boots. Back to, let's see, Courage of Bladehold is sitting at $80. There's a sold listing at $79. The lowest price is $80 right now on TCG Player. Physiotronic Model I sitting at $60. Perch Grapplers hasn't moved at all at $42 because nobody plays Ranger. The Skeleton is actually down, and Metacarpus Node is up just a little bit. The Tome sitting the same, and the Gambler's Gloves is sitting the same, but the other ones had all been moving. So all in all, an 8% increase, setting your average at around $23.43. And now let's go to the rare rainbow foils. On these, remember, I just take TCG low, and then I kind of look for any abnormalities, and I go up and look at the actual listed price or sold price. So all in all, only up 2%. You can see a pretty flat line happening there. Nothing to really talk about, honestly. Even like the heroes, none of them really sold this week. They just haven't lowered their prices by much. I guess Data Doll, one of those sold. Let's see, Centauri Saber, one of them sold, must have sold at 80 because the next one's at 88. And that's about it. So let's go to the regular rares, all the same there. This is just the lowest listed. Again, we have a little U happening. We're on the upwards trend for the first time. And let's go ahead and show you the commons. The most important thing in the whole set to understand is that the Rune Chant token is sitting at $4. That is by far the most important card in the whole set. That's a joke. The Cracked Bauble, though, is the second most important card, and that's sitting at 60. I love it. That's sitting at $65. Your other tokens are also going up a little bit. Copper token is up 18. And there's another token in here somewhere, right? Let's see, the Seismic Surge is up 13. That one had a huge movement too. And some of those were around the sold price there. So that's about it. IRA is sitting at 30, which is actually down. Remember when IRA was selling for 50, now it's down to 30. And all in all, though, you're just up about 13% on the cold foil, or on the regular rainbow foil commons. Okay, regular commons don't really matter, although they are up 18%. But that's just people buying cards to play with. So all right, let's get to the Eevee calc. Now remember, I kind of am taking a different approach since last week. I'm taking the same approach last week, but it's different. We're gonna do so I'm gonna show this out. So you have one cold foil box, right? But sometimes that can be a Majestic cold foil, sometimes that can be a rare cold foil. So this price takes the average and it divides it correctly so that it is the average rate of pull. But then I also kind of pulled in your average average Majestic cold foil is sitting at 376, and your average rare is sitting at 101, because odds are you're just going to get one of them. So that averages out the pull rate. You're twice as likely to get a rare cold foil as you are a Majestic, and so that averages the pull rate to 135 in the Eevee. But then what I've done is said, if you pull a cold foil, then your average box is going to be at $663, okay? But you don't pull the legendary or the fabled. So all in all, if you were to open 40 boxes, your average all in all would sit at $636. But if you're just opening one box, you're not going to hit the legendary, you're not going to hit the fabled. So now you have to decide what's your odds of hitting a Majestic cold foil. If you hit the Majestic cold foil, you're sitting at $663. But if you hit a non-Majestic, just a rare cold foil, you're only going to hit $388 on your average. So super important to understand that and to guide that. If you're just opening one box, your kind of average price is going to sit more at $422, which is a significant amount less than your $750 that a box is selling for. So just keep that in mind. We are now beyond, because of the box price, we are now beyond where it makes sense to open one specific box. However, I mean, come on, let's talk about it. I mean, this price is still pretty dang close to the sale price of a box. I mean, look at this. We had a box sell for $678 this week, and if you hit a Majestic in that, then you're sitting pretty good. So all right, let's show you the Eevee chart compared. We're up 8%, and now I told you if you waited, I would have something special for you. Well, I have a patron who has really gone above and beyond and helped me out, and he has set up an awesome thing, a top 8 or a top 10. So this automatically pulls the data, it automatically sorts it for us, and then we can see the top 10 gains in foil and in non-foil, and then we can see the top 10 foil losers and top 10 non-foil losers. And then what I can do, we're actually going to pull all this data, and once a week I'm going to do a top 10 winners and a top 10 losers video for all of Flesh and Blood. So I'm really, really excited about it. Thank you so much to the patron who set that up. He's amazing, and he will be handsomely thanked for that. So I'm really excited for that new series that I'll be able to add to my weekly videos, because I think it's going to be really, really helpful for people who are trying to time out some cards. So all in all, I'm going to just kind of talk about the top 3. Right now, your top 3 foil gainers from Crew are really Cindering Foresight, and these are actually sales. I actually went through and made sure that these were sales on the top list. So these were, we're up 60% on the Rainbow Foil. Again, that makes sense based on the other Rainbow Foil first edition cards of other sets. And then Massacre also up 58%, $7 because it was really cheap last week, and now it's selling for 19. And then the Seismic Surge token is also up by about 55%. So very, very interesting. Very close to see then a lot of these Majestic foils, especially like the Breeze Rider boots, the Spoils of War, all sitting pretty good in your percentage gains category. And then the non-foil, I thought this one was funny, a Rockside Trap last week. Sellers had it listed at 3 cents, which is ridiculous. So you're up 700% if you invested in Rockside Trap, a non-foil common. You're going to be really rich. And then the other rares are also just rising. And again, this is due to people who want to play the game and are now purchasing the cards because they know they're not going to buy a box. And that's why you're seeing cards like Benji and Redliner and Crane Dance and those cards kind of going up. And then also I think it's really interesting to see Spoils of War and Courage of Bladehold here, because again, I think a lot of people are starting to play warrior decks again as the meta kind of shifts. And so those cards are getting bought and used. So Breeze Rider Boots has also made this list for the non-foils. And let's talk about the biggest losers. The biggest losers in this game this week for Crucible, High Speed Impact, the foil. Let's see, wasn't that somewhere? Oh, Cindering Foresight was on the top. High Speed Impact lost 60%. Flood of Force, and now we see 3 Majestics on this list. So that's very, very interesting. And these cards are cards that I don't ever really see played, honestly. So Flood of Force, Stamp Authority, and Chain Lightning, all on the list for the Rainbow Foil Majestic losers. And then the non-foil losers, Edge of Autumn is down a good bit, Rushing River, Aetherize, and Absorption Dome all down about 25%. So I just thought that was a better way for you to see the data, and shout out to the patron who really put in a lot of time to help me get that all figured out and have it auto sort and all that kind of stuff. So expect a video, let's see, today is Saturday, this is Crew, Sunday is Arcane, Monday is WTR, which will make Tuesday kind of my top 10 gainers and losers in the whole set video, I think. So I'm excited to add that to the rotation, and hopefully it helps the market. Hopefully it helps you kind of see the market at a wider lens. So anyway, hey, I hope you enjoyed the market update. I hope you have a great day. Hope you enjoy if you're a patron. I hope you get into our event tonight that'll be live at 7:30 on the Discord. We have Armory promos, and I'm really excited about that. Shout out to my local game store who is helping us run that, and I'm super excited about it. I hope you have a great day. Remember to be kind to the people around you, and if you're gonna open up a whole 40 boxes of Crucible of War, and if you're gonna go after this, please let me know so I can watch you do it, because I'm jealous. I would love to watch somebody open 40 boxes. So have a great day. Remember to be kind to the people around you, and we'll see you tomorrow for Arcane Rising.